Lawrence County depends on WDXE News, on the air since 1951. This is The Legend, 105.3 WDXE.
That's us. It's time for the Friends and Neighbors Hour, and Keith Durham's usually here on Wednesday. Thank you for being here.
I'm here.
And of course, David Morgan has joined us here. David, good to see you.
Yeah, thank you guys for the opportunity to be here with you today.
Yeah, David Morgan, of course, if you don't know, is our county executive here at Lawrence County.
I should have adjusted my microphone before.
Get your microphone fixed. Go ahead and fix it.
Am I good here? Is this
Turn it
good?
on. Get your microphone where you and he did. You good?
There we go.
All right, now I can turn it back on. So
Okay.
Keith
I
always
think folks
messes
have
with
gotten used to my microphone noise.
I guess
I
so.
don't know.
I guess so. Good deal. Well, David, you and I have known each other, gosh, a long time, because I've known your dad, worked with your dad a while back, and your whole sluice of brothers and sister.
Yeah, we're practically Amish, you know.
You practice
Yeah, exactly.
Without the buggies.
They had shoes, you know.
Yeah.
We may need buggies next week to get around.
Well, you know, they're predicting the snowmageddon, and I'm a skeptic when it comes to this. I'm always like, yeah, you guys always get all excited, and then it's nothing.
I watched Ben Loon and them this morning, and I think they've changed to ice.
Have they?
Yeah.
For real, like all the way? Because
Yeah,
he told
like
me
we're in the ice
yesterday,
band.
because it changes every 12 hours.
Yeah.
Yesterday he said Highway 64 was kind of the blend line, where it changes from snow to ice right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Well, that's no way to predict that, but you're right.
Well, the North Alabama, they're saying, is more ice than us.
Should we ask AI? Do they know?
Nah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, ChatGPT will know exactly what's happening for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cheat with that all the
I
time.
pick on Ben sometimes in my sermons. I had to tell him that a few weeks ago because, you know, weathermen, they got it made. It's like you overpromise,
Yes.
you know, and hopefully they underdeliver every time. So
Yeah.
if they miss the mark on that, you know.
Yeah, they don't have to be right because they get to change their mind every few minutes.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You know, I hadn't thought about that.
And then they
but,
say, well, the models are showing this, that, and the other, you know.
Yeah, preachers can't do that. We just can't change theology every 12 minutes.
That's right. That's right. Oh my gosh. Well, David, what's going on in the county? We've got, gosh, I get questions all the time. What's coming? What's coming?
Oh, yeah,
You know, all this stuff all the time. All the
Yeah.
time. And sometimes I know, and sometimes I don't know.
do you have a list you carry around and stuff like that?
Well, I got a few things. I had to message the all-knowing one. Y'all know who that is, right?
The all knowing.
Yes.
Yeah,
We,
yeah,
the
Ryan.
King Almanglotti.
No, Ryan Egley.
Oh, Ryan, okay.
He's got his finger on the pulse of, you know,
Yeah.
of industrial growth, of commercial growth, retail growth. So,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happening, man. You know, of course, you see the front of the old Walmart building or Big Lots building tore down right now.
Yeah.
So Aldi is coming in there. All kind of moms are, you know, getting excited about that on social media. I'm not sure. I remember going all the way to Florence one time to buy milk for 59 cents a gallon
At Aldi?
a
Yeah.
few years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe during COVID or after or something. But anyway, apparently they do these crazy sales on things like that just to get people in the door, and then they buy other stuff too.
Yeah. They're an aggressive bunch.
Yeah, I guess they have to be to compete around here.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of stuff going on like that. So who knows? You know, I'm just believing God for the Lord's chicken to show up one of these days in Harrisburg, and we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll just
Wouldn't that be awesome?
drop out of heaven.
Why don't you become the franchisee for that?
Ooh, that would be a great idea. You know, my brother Stephen's church in Columbia, one of his board members is Caleb Mathis, and he owns the one in Columbia.
In Columbia.
Yeah, and you know, he started out. He was a student at UNA. He was working at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And he was getting a business degree, and
Yeah.
he worked. You know, Chick-fil-A only hires from within. It's crazy.
Yeah, and just yesterday, I was in town, and people who are supposed to know, and I'm not saying they do, were telling me that there's actually one coming.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I don't.
saying-
I don't know the facts on all that, guys.
I don't either.
You know, I only get to.
I didn't say it.
I only get to
I
operate.
know you didn't say it, but you
Yeah.
the insinuation.
He threw it out there,
Well,
didn't
the
he?
insinuation was heavy to me. I'm like, "Are you kidding?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "Yeah, we think it's going to happen." I'm like, "Okay."
Well-
I'll believe. That's another thing. I'll believe it when I see it.
Well, here's the deal, and David, you know this probably as much as anybody does, is that the people think you have the power and authority to say, "Okay, Chick-fil-A, come to town."
Yeah.
That's not it. Somebody has to have the entrepreneurial spirit and want to do the franchise, and the numbers have to work out.
Yeah.
So,
And the truth of the matter is, if somebody that wants to do that, they're going to do it with or without you.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a huge misconception, is that we really have a say in what codes
Yeah.
are going to, especially in county government, guys. I mean, there's no codes, there's no zoning, there's no board that anybody comes before. So like sometimes it's surprising, but sometimes I'm one of the last people to know what's coming, because they don't have to get a permit for anything, they don't have to ask permission for anything. Now, in the city limits, that's different. You know that,
right.
being the mayor, there's
Sure.
you got a zoning board and various things that you get
Right.
before.
That's
but,
right.
yeah.
There's a lot of.
But it's very welcoming. So I'm trying to, for Quick Mart, I help build stores for them. And trying to build in Columbia, Tennessee is a nightmare.
Oh, yeah,
An
I heard some
absolute nightmare. We're building one in Florence, Alabama, and it has been a cakewalk. Those folks down there are excellent.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And Lawrenceburg is the same way. If you were trying to build something and come into business in Lawrenceburg, you would find our community have open arms.
Well, and here's the thing, we've had the blessing, but man, I can't believe 3.5 years has gone by already,
Yeah.
Being in office.
Yeah,
It flies by.
welcome to your 40s.
Yeah, there you go. 40s is like gone.
It goes faster in your 50s.
But no, one of the really, I mean, and it's so obvious. As a matter of fact, we work together so well in Lawrence County, county government, city government, utilities, and we're ahead of the game because of that. Utilities capabilities were way out there ahead of the game. So industrial opportunity. When someone from South Korea calls Tennessee Department of Economic Development, and they say, "Hey, we're looking for X amount of acres, X amount of workforce." I mean, Lawrence County is like right there at the top of the list. When McWhorter's office gets that call, they say, "Hey, you need to call Lawrence County and see what's going on."
Yeah.
And we just work well together. We can answer the questions. We can get stuff done. And here's an exciting thing. So what's going on with that Highway 55? You heard anything about the Highway 55
I have.
building?
Every other day somebody asks me about
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so I'm excited to. I may not.
Yeah, just say it.
I might not supposed
Just
to say
it.
this, right?
Just say it, David.
So there's this restaurant.
Yes.
It's been opening up all over the state, and
Yeah.
kids love it. It booms on college campuses and things like that. And they sell, it's pretty much everything fried, but they also have every milkshake under the sun.
Ooh.
And you get like these combo
What
meals.
is it?
Can y'all guess what they do? I'm gonna give you some.
Wingstop.
No.
No, and I
Well,
wanted
college
I
kids-
wanted to say In and Out, but I don't think that's it.
No, I wish In-N-Out would come here.
Yeah.
They're a little
But
overrated.
it's not fried though, right?
Almost
You said
every-
everything's
Now they make
fried.
burgers too, but I mean they got corn dogs, they got quesadillas, they got burgers, you can get combo meals, and then every imaginable milkshake.
Oh, okay.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna Google this. while
I'm gonna
we're
let y'all. I'm
guessing.
gonna let that stew.
I
for
have
just
to
a
get
little-
off my page. Diller's got.
I don't know if y'all do
several.
callers, but let's see.
Well, we can do callers, as a matter of fact. If you do want to talk with us, that's fine. 766-9393. While we are live,
Yeah.
we don't mind that at all. Not a bit. Let's see. Hey, there's.
You've stumped me. You have stumped me with this.
so
What's bad about this is somebody just told me this yesterday, and I can't remember
already
the name.
forgot.
And I can't remember the name.
Okay,
But
all
it wasn't anything that I was really familiar with.
the name is kind of. You wouldn't think it would be the name of a
Yeah,
restaurant.
I don't. I'm not.
Oh, well, I wouldn't know it then.
I'm not familiar with.
I mean, it's something we all do on holidays and in the backyard.
Oh, football.
It's grill out or something like that.
Cookout.
Cookout. It's cookout.
Cookout. You've never been?
So I've never-
Surely with
Yeah,
Spencer,
I
you've been.
went to Cookout 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, no,
There's
yeah,
one in Florence, just
Yeah,
right
Yeah.
that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That they've.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah. That's exciting for listen, I don't like to eat that kind of stuff, but my kids. I mean, my son Ben will be.
Well, David, I hate to tell you that, but one of your sons comes to my house pretty regularly, and we eat that way
all the
And,
time.
yeah, and-
well, no, he likes it.
No, listen, they're actually pretty good because they'll say, "Ooh, that's got sugar in it. I don't want it." And I said, "Kids, you can't grow up being weird your whole life. Just be normal."
Come on, they make medicine to cover all that later on in life. What are you
There's
worried
this
about?
new pill that I'm fixing to start taking that helps out with that.
And all your work, David, goes to waste right there.
There it is. No, anyway, so county's doing great, guys. I'll tell you, it's been a great season to be involved in government in Lawrence County. The growth we've seen in Tennessee, and we're blessed in Lawrence County where we haven't seen growth that's been overwhelming or debilitating to county government. We've been able to keep up with the growth and the pace of growth, and
Right.
we did the largest, actually made the largest investment in roads that we've ever made as a county.
But it wasn't Springer Road.
That's city. city roads.
Oh,
I get
here
that
we
question
go.
all the
There's
time.
that finger pointing. That happens every time. Yeah. You get
That's
down-
city mayor. You got to talk to Blake Lay about
How
that.
many people on Springer Road are not Lawrence County people?
They all are. They all are.
Okay,
Lawrence
that's what I
County.
thought.
Yeah.
That's what I
But
thought.
you know, we have more road mileage in the county than any county.
Well, I tell you, Keith, you could start a movement to give up the city control of everything, let the county control everything.
That's exactly right. And we'd contribute to the county paving crew.
It's true. We're double taxed in the city. That's for sure.
That's exactly right.
We
We're
get double the
taxed.
services too in the city.
So
don't we?
whatever.
Oh, how?
Well, I mean, the city takes care of us, man. The trash pickup.
I could debate that.
roads.
Oh, and I'm not. Oh, yeah. I'm not. Okay, we won't debate that.
No.
City-county rivalry going on here.
No, hey, it's a big deal. So think about it. Like, so Ryan Creek came into office, and a couple years in, we were able to do a huge road building program, and the state gave us a couple $1 million too for the interconnecting roads that go between state highways.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing some progress out in the county, and Ryan really knows what he's doing. He spreads that out around the county, and I'm excited, man, to see some of that. Here's the deal with roads, guys. Though, I mean, we could never have enough money to keep up with everything that needs to happen on roads. It's just it's one of those maintenance things that you just you just got to give what we can, and
for the most part, I do a lot of driving around in our county, buying and selling real estate and all that kind of stuff, and I see a lot of our roads. And most of them are pretty decent, but you'll run across one every once in a while that seems to be forgotten,
Yeah.
Hey, that's just the way it is.
Well, the thing about it is I like dirt roads. In Lawrence County, it's hard to find a dirt road. You can go to Laurel Hill and ride on dirt roads.
Yeah.
But where else can you go?
well, our recovery farm is right on the edge of Wayne County. So when you get out of Lawrence County on Lodi Road, it turns to gravel in Wayne County, and then we hit a dirt road.
Oh, wow.
To the farm. And I'll tell you, driving 15 passenger vans full of guys,
Yeah.
dirt road's not the best scenario.
I
We've
love
changed
dirt
front
roads.
end parts and all that stuff on those vans.
Well, you like a dirt road just to go riding and get away.
Well, if you got a leaky oil gasket or something like that, and you get right on the dirt road,
it helps kind of put a
seals
little
it
oil
off,
coat.
and then you can find them.
Wasn't that old Clint Black song from the 90s? I'll take the dirt road.
Yeah.
There's all
I
kinds of
know.
dirt road songs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We had-
Revelo, there's a lot of them out that way.
When my sister was in the band, and this has been years ago, this has been in the 70s, early 80s, when my sister was in the band, they had a band from California come visit us.
Yeah.
And I can remember them saying, "We've always heard of dirt roads, we've never seen one." But,
Oh, wow.
Back in those days, there's a lot of dirt roads around here.
Oh, yeah.
So California doesn't have any dirt roads anymore.
I guess they live in the city. I don't know.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm sure there are.
I think it's one of the highest indebted states in the country too. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's 'cause
California?
That's
There
where
you
they
go.
paved all the roads.
And of course, we want Gavin Newsom for our president. That's
Oh yeah,
I would
that
say
would
that.
really help us.
help me.
Well, man, I'm excited about what's going on. And it's election season and all that. Keith, you went through. How many did you go through when you were
No.
mayor?
3 or 4.
Oh, you did. You were in there for a while.
I was commissioner 4 years before I was mayor for 12 years. So I went through 4.
I remember you coming by my house. I lived on Skyline Drive.
Yeah.
I was out there working on my truck. Something was
Yeah.
broke down.
And your dog chewed my shoes.
And it did it good.
And it was good. I remember that.
See, he's my barometer on whether or not I could trust a guy. Anyway,
good.
I remember you were running. One of the things you were fighting was the license, I think, to sell liquor or liquor stores or something maybe
Yeah,
at the time.
that's,
And
there was
Yeah.
liquor by the drink, and
that's what you were
yeah.
saying. Yeah. And I was all on board with you, and I thought that was a noble cause to be fighting for. But things change in Lawrence County from time to time, and we see a lot of opportunities coming our way. And I mean, the roads has been a big deal. The school system, man, we've been able to do some really good stuff for them, and gave them a substantial amount of money over the last several years. Haven't had to raise taxes or even have a conversation about that because we were able to manage our budget well. When I came in, I realized we spend about 90% of what we budget. And so our county budget is about $24 million a year. And so it's just, there's $2.4 million oftentimes at the end of the year. Now, throughout the year, we have budget amendments, so we've got to chisel into that money a little bit here and there. But there's oftentimes some savings that we accrue, and we can appropriate that. And one of the things I'm most proud of, and I went to the meeting last night with the fire chiefs for Lawrence County. So if you didn't know this, We have 13 fire halls in Lawrence County.
Yeah.
And for a long time, they were all real autonomous and not so unified, right? And even I've heard stories of back in the day, they would even like, have fights between them and scraps. It was really territorial. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And but today, Tyler McDowell he was voted on before he even got into office by all these chiefs to be like their
Lead guy.
representative, right?
Yeah.
The lead guy. And he said, "I'm not the chief." He said, "I'm not the chief. I'm just the coordinator for the whole thing." And so I got to talking to him and listen to some of his ideas about unification. So we've been able to do that. Now they've got a board of all the chiefs from the different departments sit on a board.
Sure.
And we were able to give them, guys, we were able to double their allocation from county government. So I got to look and when I came in office, I started a new committee called Emergency Services Committee just to look at fire, EMS, sheriff's department, anybody
Right.
that's frontline emergency stuff. And man, we hadn't done anything to increase county fires allocations or money in a long time, and their roles were going down on volunteerism. They're having to do all these cookouts and fundraisers all the time. So we were able to take the surplus of what we saved in our budget at the end of the year, and we were able to double what they typically would receive. And so I'm excited about that. We're able to do that. Been able to do that for the last 2 years.
Those people are really dedicated to
Yes.
the fire halls and emergency help.
It's just
what I like
generational
about it
sometimes.
more than anything else is, David, and you may not even thought about it this way, but I thought about it all the time when I was mayor, is that you don't have a money-making machine down there. The county doesn't own a money press. The city doesn't own a money press. Our revenue comes from our citizens. And any time that we can invest back into the community where the citizens can see get some bang for their buck, that's good. That's a bad term to use, but if you can reinvest that money back into the community that the money came from, and I see that as what happened there, and I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let me ask you a question. One of the things that I see in the future is going to be an issue for Lawrence County is the fact that developers are going to take advantage of our situation in the county as far as codes go and water availability. So we're seeing in Murray County, they're out of water. They've got a moratorium on building houses and everything like that. Plus, it takes an act of Congress to build anything up there. And the developers have learned that. And I've had developers tell me straight up, they'll never build again in Murray County.
Wow.
So they're looking just right outside Murray County. We've got a 4-lane highway goes straight to Columbia and straight to those places where they're servicing, they're servicing the Saturns and the Ultrium plants and things like that. And it's basically a pass through to Nashville. And so in the future, I see those developers looking at Lawrence County and saying, you know what, that's a gold mine down there. How do we hedge against that? Because do we have infinite water to serve these folks, and do we have the infrastructure other than water to serve those folks? When I see that in the future, I see, and listen, I don't worry about things, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking these guys are going to buy big chunks of land, and they're fixing to start developing those things. So, is there any plan in the process or anything that looks forward 5 or 10 years and says, here's how we want to do things in the county?
Yeah. Great question, by the way. And no, that's wise to look ahead and to try to hedge off some of the potential problems. So, one of the things I learned, so I did a master's program last year at Lipscomb University, and my whole thesis was on modernization of rural utility systems and try to help them keep up with what's going on. And so what I learned about Lawrence County is that we actually have more water in this county than any other county in the whole state of
We do
Tennessee.
now, yeah.
Right. But like it comes up out of the ground here. So the headwaters for the Shoal Creek, the headwaters for the Buffalo River.
Yep.
Now that's one of the reasons why also we have so many utility districts is because back in the day somebody could just drill a well in a little community in Revelo or Fall River, wherever, and boom, you got good quality water coming up out of the ground, and you put a tower up and all that. So part of my responsibility as county mayor, and for those that are listening that may not know this, is I appoint those board members to all those utility districts. And one of the things we've been able to do, I've had some meetings with all the district, chairmen of the boards, and we get together a couple times. We've done that throughout my administration, and just sitting down and having these kind of conversations. What do you guys need? Where are the weaknesses? Because we can apply for grants through, community block development grants, and that help us keep up to speed. Now, when you ask, the big question is, this place is ripe for the picking for a lot of big time developers that can come in here, and money is no problem
Yeah,
for them.
that's exactly right.
And so one of the things I started when I came
Which,
in.
hang on a second, let me interject right
Yeah.
there. You use the term money's no problem for them. We need to keep that in mind going forward, because there has been some developments here in the immediate past that we have incentivized these big time developers to come into our city, and it's unnecessary. It was in my opinion, it was a waste of city tax dollars and city utilities. As a ratepayer, for me to have my light bill go up or my water bill to go up to pay for a big developer to come in and build 200 or 300 houses and profit from that, I've got an issue with that.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean to break in your conversation, but I didn't want to lose that thought.
Yeah, I've heard you discuss that
Yeah.
before on the radio show, and look, I'm a city guy too, and so I agree with you in a lot of ways on that, because you got to be careful on using
absolutely.
taxpayer
Oh,
dollars.
they got the phone ringing.
All right, here we go. So go ahead. You want to?
Yeah, well, hang on just a second. Let's see who we got here. Hey, good morning. You're on with us.
Yes, I missed out on the first part, and I hope this is not repetitive, but I think it's to the subject, because I had done some research. This is what AI says, and I don't know if it's just for Lawrenceburg or southern middle Tennessee, but it says that the crime rate is an issue, substance abuse, but rural firefighting challenges, which you talked about, traveling to Medicare and mental health. But what you're talking about right now is what bothers me, is there's a lot of gray clouds and cloudy days here. So one day I did a search, and it said it was like 2.5 whatever, and I looked up the definition. It said if you're healthy and normal, you're fine, but if you have cancer or something like a stroke, a risk, you should probably not be out very long. And that's with a lot of things going on. Just wanted to throw those things out.
Okay, all right. I'm not, Peggy, I'm not sure about the cloud thing. I don't know what she's talking about there, but anyway, I want to go back to this, what you were talking about, the developers.
So when I came into office, I started two committees. One was Emergency Services Committee, and the other was called Property Development Committee. And I attached the word codes to it, and that caused, I don't know if you remember, we had a big town hall at the courthouse.
Oh, yeah.
They almost burnt the place down, you know.
Yeah, because didn't want codes or whatever.
Well, and here was my argument. As I've been sat in enough meetings with TR and some other people to see, you know, Farmer Joe out here can sell the back 10 acres, and a guy can cut a road down through there, build a little cul-de-sac on the end, and build 25 houses, and that road, we have to adopt that road. The expectation of those 25 citizens that buy those houses is that the county takes care of that road someday, because the school bus has to get down it and all that. Well, there's zero permitting or anything for anything like that. So
and let me ask you, let me add something to that. So in the city, we do the same thing, but they have to build to a certain standard, and I believe the city takes the county standard on the road construction. Do you guys require the same thing?
So we have a standard, and that's great, but all we can do, all Ryan Creek can do is go, if he knows about it, is go to this guy and say, hey, sir, would you please build it to this standard? Would you please spend 5x what you want to spend and build it to this standard, so that when you're finished and you drive away and you sell all these houses and you're gone to the next project, that these citizens, that we can adopt this road, So that's our problem, is there's no teeth, there's no enforcement. So I've got an idea about that, and you're a realtor, see what you think about this. So I would like for it to remain a civil issue. I don't mind government getting involved in it too. I mean, there's some things government is here for, right? Sure. But we could start out with this. What if you had a form, and it's a state inspection form, and say we don't have a permitting process, but this form can be filed with the deed to this house or whatever when this house is built. And on that form, you got check mark boxes on every kind of code issue for building a house.
Right.
And you and the contractor would say, hey, we're going to split the cost of paying an inspector. Like, when you borrow money for a used home or a previously owned home, the bank sends out somebody to inspect the house, right? Mr. Nelson did that for years. I think Pilkington does that now. Various other.
There's lots of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of. So Anyway,
Surveyor's what we need.
so you got those kind of, so here's what I'm saying is you got 3 check boxes. The homeowner says, yep, the foundation was inspected by X inspector. Inspector selects it, and then the builder selects it too. And all of that, that's between them. It's a civil issue, and they can file that away with the deed to their house. That house is ever sold. That paperwork is there. There's proof and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's one step in the right direction on house building. Now, on the road thing, I think we have to have some type of permitting in place.
Most of the builder developers that I've talked to that do that kind of understand that there is a certain standard which they need to meet in order for the county to take it over at some point. Now, I know you say it doesn't have any enforcement power,
Right.
but evidently the ones I've talked to are aware of it, and they know they've got to get it to a certain base level.
Some do that, and I would say the majority probably do that, Jeff, because they do quality work. They build quality houses, but that doesn't mean everybody's going to. Here's the thing: you get a developer out of Florida or California or somewhere comes up here, and they were going to build 300 homes. You can't tell me that they're not going to try to cut and save $1,500 on a foundation and a few more $1,000 here and there the whole way through that $350,000 house. I mean, that's just going to happen if there's not standards in place to make sure.
Now, on the new home builds, there are codes that have to be met
in the city. Now, electrical inspections, yes, but like in the county, there's no plumbing, there's no framing, there's no foundational inspections.
They don't have to meet building codes from the state?
Nope, those get voted down every 4 years by the county commission. They've never approved those, and that's how Lawrence County is. So that'll be on the ballot. That'll be on the September agenda this year for the commission. And our county commission's always voted down any kind of building codes. Now look, I think again, what'd you say? Trying to do anything in Maury County is a nightmare.
Yeah.
Maury County has way too many codes and regulations and zoning and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's way overboard. So that's the fear. We'll become like Maury County. But there's some comment, like I don't care if somebody builds a deck onto their house or adds an addition on, and they hire a jacketed contractor.
Let me add something there. I think that when people say we're going to become like Maury County, the reason Maury County became like they became is because they didn't do anything on the front end, and then things started exploding, and they, in my opinion, overreacted with all this stuff because they were behind the 8 ball, and weren't ready.
Zero planning up
and
front.
weren't ready for what was happening to them.
Been playing catch up.
So
And now they're out of water, and they voted to do a $500 million
I saw that.
thing for water, and they're gonna go all the way to Hickman County, I believe, and pump water out of the duct.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I mean, the duct runs right through Columbia. Why don't you pump the water out of there? They're gonna go downstream and pump it. I guess other tributaries run into it down there.
Something you've got to be so far from whatever wastewater treatment plants and different things that are.
I don't know. That's gonna kill.
you got to get in. You got to get that water before the ducks get it.
Yeah, you're right. And
So I don't know.
So hey, that committee I started got X'd by the commission. After a year they cut that out. They don't want, my thing was I just want to sit down and have common sense conversations about it. I want to be able to bring people to the table and consider things that need to be done in Lawrence County.
Well, I would volunteer to be on the discussion group about that.
well, here's the deal.
Good. I mean,
Okay.
Certainly involved.
Because let me tell you, it affects what we do.
Well,
Oh, it does.
Absolutely.
what I would say is, especially the things that become your baby. If the road becomes a baby of the county, then yes, there should be some
Yes.
say-so in how it's constructed. I know the city, the rule of thumb for the city is that the road has to be built to certain standards and maintained for a certain period of time, and then the city adopts it. If it's not that way, the city don't even adopt it. It just becomes sort of like a residential road that the homeowners upkeep.
Yeah, we have some unadopted roads, so it's like
Yeah.
little orphan roads out there.
Right.
With nobody to take care of them.
Yeah.
So we just, inside the city, we just had a developer come in and build an apartment complex. First time in city history and state history that I know that a city road goes in through the middle of a apartment complex, and the city's gonna be paving the developer's parking spots forever. So the road and the parking spots are part of the city road now. And so that guy's making money on it month by month, and the city's paving his parking lots from now on.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
those are the dumb things that's happening. And I won't get off on a tangent on that, but
I think you already did.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But,
I want to roll back to the water for just
Yeah,
a
go
minute.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned that Lawrence County is blessed to have kind of an abundance of water. We're not guaranteed that forever, I don't guess, but so far Lawrence County, and I think it's a fascinating fact that there's no There's no running navigable. How you say that? Navigable.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Something like that.
We're gonna let you tackle that.
There's no waterway that doesn't. There's no waterway that runs through this county that didn't originate in this county.
That's right.
And I think that's kind of fascinating to think about. All of it originates here. So, Leoma Water District has been on the radar for a little bit.
Yeah, they're out of the woods.
Now,
and all that,
that's,
yeah.
I wanted to update on what's happening with the Leoma Water.
So I went to a
Scoot
town
up a
hall.
little.
Yeah, I went to a town hall down there, and man, you talking about people showing up? There was
I
250
saw that.
people or so in the room, maybe more.
Yeah.
And here's the thing: LUS was not. Like Vic Poster, they're not trying to just take over all these water districts, right? But when there's problems with a water district, the comptroller's office gets involved, right? And they say, okay, there's a problem here. So there was some issues at Leoma with some money mismanagement, and so that put a guy had to be fired, and so that put a microscope on them. And when that happened, there was compliance things that were out of line.
Yeah.
Well, the comptroller don't play around. I mean, they're the money police in Tennessee, and they don't mess around. So Leoma was in danger of losing their sovereignty, and the comptroller's office and the T-Board, Tennessee Board of Regulatory, whatever it stands for, they were going to force LUS to take them over. Like to take over management of it. I think it's 1,400 meters or something like that.
Right.
So anyway, so that put a lot of pressure on LUS. It put a lot of pressure on Leoma. LUS already sells them already sells them water, right? So for LUS's sake, it's easier to sell water wholesale than to manage 1,400 more meter bases and a set of pipes and stuff that you didn't install. I mean, it's even hard to track all that. So, so anyway. I got involved to the extent that I needed to, and we went up to Nashville, spoke to T-Bor, Clay Doggett helped me with that as well, and we got them a lifeline, if you will, and I'm so proud of the board down there. They've gotten all their ducks in a row. They hired a company to come in and help them get things straightened out, and then we also got a block grant last year to put in a big booster pump to pump the water from LUS to them. So what a lot of people may not know is LUS is connected to almost every one of these utility districts. Yeah. So if they have any kind of water shortage issues, LUS is right there. Summertown, they're connected. They're connected to Leoma.
So almost any of the water districts can purchase water from LUS.
Yeah, it's all interconnected. It's a big web of lines.
Yeah.
Pretty much, most all of them. And so that's a big benefit to our county. So there is somewhat of a connection already happening, but there's still autonomous boards and things like that, and they have to kind of all work together.
Sure. Well, I knew that at one point, I remember, and this has been a while back, the Leoma Water District had plenty of water. So when this happened, I was like, what's going on? Why all of a sudden we don't have plenty of water?
Water loss is one of our big issues. So we had a study done my first year in office, and every utility district, including LUS, failed the test. They all had water loss issues. Now, LUS, the only reason why they failed the test was...
Now, explain water loss to people who don't know.
Okay, so the pipes in the ground are so old. Sure. A lot of them are still metal pipes, and they're threads. I worked at DRM for years doing industrial electrical work. We thread pipe. Yeah. Those threads eventually, there's thin there, and it rusts, and it leaks. Yeah. And so what we're talking about water loss is the amount of water that's coming out of the tower out to the houses is not the same amount of water that's going through the meters into the houses. So when you figure up all the meters, how much water they've used, hold on a minute. People are using half of the amount of water that's coming out of the tower. Where's the rest of it going? It's going in the ground somewhere.
Yeah, it's leaking
Which
out
all
the
water
pipes.
goes back to the ground anyway. So, but that was a problem in every district in the county. And LUS didn't have water loss issues. What they had is their water plant is over 50 years old. So, but now if you've ever been out there, it's well taken care of, and it's got the classic tile out there and all that.
Oh, yeah.
But it is over 50 years old, so that's the only reason why they... So there is some redundancy in the county, and that's a positive thing for us.
I remember I was in the I was in the Fall River Water District when we lived out on Prosser, and they had to go through a major pipe out because they were losing so much water, and all that was done a while back. And I think Fall River District is in pretty good shape.
Yeah, they don't have near as much water loss issues as some of the other ones because they upgraded.
They had to upgrade, but spent a lot of money to do it.
Yeah, and they have to borrow money to do that, guys. They don't
Yeah.
have, none of these utility districts are just sitting on millions of dollars to be able to do stuff like that. They have
Yeah.
to go borrow money to do that, and based on the interest rates at the time, there's just various things that cause the rates to
But
go
you're talking about county zoning of any kind. I get asked that a lot from people that are coming from out of town, okay? And they will know what kind of zoning is out there on this piece of property you got for sale.
Yeah.
And I have to say, well, the county doesn't have any zoning. There's no zoning in the county.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure. Yeah. No, that's a dirty word in Lawrence County.
Yeah.
And
Well, you can take it too far.
you can't.
and-
Hang on, guys. I want to take
Okay,
this
go
phone
ahead.
call. This is somebody we all know, okay? Miss Daphne, is that you?
Jail, this is Daphne Cole calling.
Yes, ma'am.
She's my favorite people.
I appreciate your program, appreciate everything that you're discussing, and I've hesitated to jump in because of some important issues that you have on the table. But I have something that troubles me, and I want to ask a question to county exec and past mayor,
Okay.
if that's okay.
Sure.
Are we good now?
Yeah, you're on. You're ready to do it.
All right. And we have a lot of transit in Lawrence County and have some homeless. And it just drives me nuts. And I'm troubled every time that, it's cold or the weather's inclement or what have you. Is there any provisions that I don't know of that can participate when the weather is so inclement or cold or just on a daily basis? Is there anywhere that the homeless can be housed? And this weekend, I keep thinking about this weekend coming up. If it's going to be as profound as they say it is, what does city or county do anything? I know it's sometime back in the past they would allow them to come in to the county jail and maybe stay in the lobby. But I don't know whether any of that takes place now. So I'll hang up, and you all speculate on that. And I also have a concern. There have been some very unfavorable things where there's been some break-ins and that kind of thing. And they say that when the police come, they say that it is a lot of the transit. So that's a twofold thing there. But both county exec and mayor, y'all speculate on that. And then I would personally, if there isn't anything, I sure would like to see something that the folks have somewhere to go to for a short period of time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hang up and somebody address that, please.
So good to hear from you, Daphne. Thank you.
Thank you, darling.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Miss Daphne there. That's
Yeah,
some good thoughts.
Well, it's a question I get a lot, and even as a pastor, the church, it's a responsibility of the church to help people in these situations, in my opinion. And I think a lot of times governments had to step in where the church has stepped out of helping people in the community.
Right.
I agree with that.
Yeah. God's people, the ones. But here's the deal with the homeless. So yes, Miss Cope, for the last 2 winters, maybe 3, we have. I initiated from my office a warming center. So we worked with First United Methodist Church right across the street from my office, and their gymnasium was opened up. Our EMA director, Shelton Barnett, brought cots in. We coordinated with other churches, and they brought in, our church, various other ones, brought in crock pot meals and all this. They have showers there at First United Methodist Church in their gym. So you remember, we had some sub-zero weeks, and it was hard on the county. So created all that. And we know kind of where the homeless populations live and how many there are. And this was astounding to me. I mean, I couldn't believe this, but not one single person has ever showed up to stay overnight in those warming centers. Now, the argument is a lot of them have somewhere that they can go, like maybe a family member somewhere. Now, this is an argument. Like a lot of our homeless, and I would say 90% of our homeless suffer from severe mental illness.
That's true.
And do y'all remember in the 80s and 90s, we had facilities in the state of Tennessee that were ran by the state of Tennessee where people like that could live in a safe environment. They could get their medication on time every day like they need to be. Right. But what's happened in this modern era is we don't have those kind of facilities anymore in Tennessee. We don't, and what happens is, yes, they're supposed to be on meds or whatever to help them with their situation, but who is there to administer the meds? Are they going to listen to the person that's their caregiver, or wherever some of them, home base is? Some people are getting a check on their family member, and that family member's out here living on the streets.
Yeah.
And that's a reality in Lawrenceburg.
That
So
is.
that's a challenge. But we have not had one person, and we haven't had anyone freeze to death during these cold. It's like, if we had, God forbid, a homeless person that died in this cold weather and somebody found them. But there's no reports of any of that either the last few years. So I'm just kind of bewildered by it all, and I want to do more about it. But like, what can we do, and how do we do it?
I remember it was either last year or year before last. Sunset Fellowship was one of those
Grant Paving.
locations. Grant Paving him over there, and to chip in, you could bring a pot of stew or whatever over, and so there. I don't know if they're doing it again this year or not. But this is a good time to speak about God's Storehouse. I'm on the board of directors of God's Storehouse. And people get confused because we have two different things at God's Storehouse. We have the thrift store that's down on Columbia Avenue. And the proceeds from the thrift store goes to buy food to put in the food bank over on Frank Street. And we serve a lot of homeless people out of there. They get good meals there. They can eat there, and they
You have hot meals there too. Yeah,
absolutely. And we have actually put showers in there too.
Right.
So they can come take a shower and clean up and all those kinds of things. And so there are facilities that the homeless can get.
Yeah, that's
served.
A county building, and we partner
It is a
with you
county
guys.
building,
Right.
And
Yeah.
we appreciate you guys are teaming with the city to put us a new freezer in, so we
That's
can,
right. Yeah.
and we appreciate that. Thank you for that.
We got a grant to help pay for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
And so, anyway, I like local things. If you want to contribute to something local, drop your stuff off at God's Storehouse, thrift store, and it stays here in the community. I'm not saying Goodwill's a good thing too. So if you got stuff you want to take to Goodwill, you can do that too. But if you want to stay local in the community, drop it off at God's Storehouse.
Local
I've taken
control.
advantage of that a lot, and it's even for selfish reasons. I'm trying to thin out some possessions, but they're not things you'd throw away, but you just don't want to do anything else with them, and taking them there is really convenient.
Yeah, it is.
And so it's helping somebody too all at the same time. So I think it's a good thing.
Well, actually, at God's Storehouse in the back there, you have clothing area where people
That's right.
that are homeless can come in and get get quality
right.
used clothing. Some of it's new clothing.
Yeah.
Sometimes the sticker's still on there for where it was donated
Yeah.
or whatever from a retail.
Well,
store.
the bottom line of it is there is a lot of effort made both from churches and community and even our government to some extent with that building being belonging to the county. There are efforts, and there are places that there's a lot of people that are trying to help these people anyway.
Yeah.
But like you said, even if you have a place, a lot of them just don't want to be there, or they've got somewhere else that they do go.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree.
And the mental and that's my big thing is like the majority of the issue with homelessness is mental health, major mental health struggles, and so that's what we have to address. And like I just think a quality facility somewhere where these people can be taken care of, they got proper nursing care and medical care and doctor and psychiatric care. That's the key to their well-being and for them to live the best life they can dealing with whatever their mental illness is. They need a place like that to live.
Yeah.
And I know that, we watch the old movies, right, from the 40s, 50s, 60s about those kind of facilities. And I just think we live in a better time where people would be better cared for in a place like that.
I
So,
agree. Did they close the one in Bolivar down, I guess?
I think it's mostly an outpatient clinic over there.
Oh, really?
I think there may be a little bit of inpatient stuff they do, but not anywhere in comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, that place looks like straight out of a horror movie.
It does.
When you drive the old buildings, they got newer buildings there too.
You're exactly right.
Yeah, Paige Wally would know. I mean, he's a psychologist, our state senator, and he's from that area over there. So he really has an understanding of this issue.
They did, for some reason, build those facilities kind of spooky looking, even when they were new.
Well, even schools, if you think about it back then.
Yeah.
Maybe they got the floor plan for free or something.
I don't know.
All the haunted house floor plans are free.
Yeah. Oh, wow. David Morgan here, everybody, for our county executive, and of course, Keith Durham, one of my regulars here, and former mayor of Lawrenceburg. And so it's kind of we got a good pulse here on how government works and how the city and county works together, and what a blessed place we are, even though we may have a problem or two. Somebody else wants to talk to us. Let's see what we got. And good morning. You're on the air with us.
I'd like to switch gears a little bit and address this question to Keith.
Oh, that's a good question.
That's
No, it is a corporate effort. Our owners do not sell lottery tickets because we feel like we operate more as a quick service food, and we don't want our customers waiting in line on somebody buying lottery tickets and scratching them and moving out of the way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they as a policy they don't sell them. That's right.
Yeah, at any store.
At any store.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There we go.
Hey, I appreciate that. I think that's yeah.
I got to scoot you up to the mic.
Yeah,
You got to remember we're on the mic. We're on the mic.
Forget about that. Forget about that.
We are having a casual conversation. Though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So I appreciate that about Quick Mart. There's just a certain standard that is upheld with how you all do business, and I commend the Edwards family and everyone that works there for that. And the next generation's carrying on with that.
Yeah, you better believe it.
I appreciate that about Charlie and the rest of them.
Shoot, yes. All right, it is 8:53. We've got a few more minutes. What else is kind of on the radar with either one of you guys?
I'm excited about the news David brought to the table. I hope it comes to fruition. That's awesome about the cookout or whatever it's
The
called.
cookout.
Yeah. I imagine that'll be a line item in my budget. But, the thing is, we're still raising children. My youngest is just 8 years old, so he's second grade. So my oldest is married now, and of course I've told them the next step for me in life is a grandchild. So I mean, I don't know what y'all are doing, but like let's get a grandbaby going here. And
it's fun. I'll tell you that.
I think you need a vlog, and just like here's the story.
Of a crazy family. My youth pastor, Bryce Harbor, former youth pastor Bryce Harbor, he lead pastor of church up in Murfreesboro now. He and his wife, they were astounded, appalled, amazed, whatever you want to say, by the way our life is, with 5 kids and all the things we do. They were like, if y'all had a camera following you around all the time, they said you'd be like YouTube gold.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want everybody knowing every little thing that goes on.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, is, and you guys do this, I enjoy the weekends, and I know, and you get a completely different type of enjoyment out of the weekends because your kids are athletic. They play ball.
Oh yeah.
And I can't imagine having to keep up with that. And you coach probably. And all
I love coaching. It's one of my passions is coaching. And but I haven't seen. That's one of the only things I have struggled with in this job is that I can't be committed enough to coach football anymore, rec league football, because. You practice 3 days a week, and we just have committee meetings and things like that in the evenings, and so I've not been able to coach rec league other than just assist, and that struggles. I struggle with that, but yeah, it's fun.
I've always thought that'd be one of the most fun jobs in the world is to be a head coach of a football team.
Well, football. Here's the thing: I've coached basketball, baseball, football, even soccer. Me and Mark Fields for a little while when our girls were little.
Yeah.
But yeah, football. You need every kid. You need that kid you're not going to pick in baseball and basketball. But you need him. And I need him. I mean, I need the big boy. I need him. I said, I need you for 3 seconds. Every time the ball snaps, I need you for 3 seconds. Just don't let that kid through this gap. And he's like, okay, coach, okay. I mean, he'll give me 100. He gives me 100%. I love that.
That's a good thought. A few seconds at a time.
I've made it to the age where I enjoy sitting down.
Well, I don't know what that is yet. Keith. Well, you said something about Saturday. So for our family, our rhythm is important in our life, and so Saturdays, and that is another thing. It's campaign time for us, and there's a lot of things going on Saturdays, and sometimes you miss. I have to miss my kids' games. I've missed more games, in the last few weeks than I like to miss. And there's just certain sacrifices you make, and you can't get those times back with your children. But you got to let the community know you're serious about doing this job and being out there and meeting people, and so that's some of the challenges. But Sundays for us is a rhythm day, and it's kind of set in place. Of course, preachers' kids they got to be, and we do 3 services, so they got to be at church, all day long. You know what I mean? And so we give a little liberty to the older ones that can drive and stuff, and let them be in one service.
Speaking of that, there's always I don't know how many times over the years I've seen you guys doing some kind of construction project.
Yeah.
And you've got a lot of dirt moving that's been
a lot of people asking what's going on.
Yeah, what in the world are y'all doing over there?
Say,
it's like you're moving a mountain.
Well, the Lord is just calling people out of darkness into light. People are hungry for truth and the gospel, and I'm excited about that as a pastor. one of the things I talked to my board about, my family about, my father, was with this whole political thing was, at 3 years in, if our church is stagnant, in decline, or if I've got turmoil maybe among my staff because of my divided now attention, that I would not consider running for office again. So for the first year and a half, we didn't really grow. We kind of stayed the same, and never really thought about it. But then, man, in this last year and a half, y'all, it's been supernatural. I mean, that's all I can explain. My preaching hasn't gotten any better. You can ask anybody in the church, and I certainly hadn't got any better
I'll
looking.
listen to you. Good.
Well, thank you. But like in the last, we have doubled, our church attendance has doubled in the last 16 months.
Yeah.
And we are baptizing, we've had to go from doing baptisms and communion every other month to every single month, the first Sunday of the month, and we were baptized. I mean, it's unreal. We've had to go to 3 services. We're gonna do our Easter services at Crockett Theater because we just don't have room.
Yeah.
What a good idea.
Yeah, we have over like 650 people attending church every Sunday, and Easter, oftentimes you'll add half of that too. So I mean,
Yeah.
we may hit 900. We may have, who knows? The theater holds 1,000 people. I mean, I pray, God, let's fill it.
Yeah.
And I know it's Easter Sunday, and people are like, well, they don't ever come back, but they hear the gospel.
Yeah.
That seed is planted. I love it,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what's going on. We're in the middle of a fundraising campaign for a new building. We're looking to build 25,000 square foot building there next
Yeah.
to us. And so
Okay.
that first phase is temporary parking expansion because we were out of parking. It's amazing. We expanded that, and now we're almost filling that up in second service, that parking
Yeah.
lot. Like, where were people going? We had seen people driving out of our parking team said we had people driving out of our parking lot and leaving because they couldn't find a spot.
I probably could say this about every church, but I think in general there's been somewhat of a little revival going on
Yeah.
around the country.
I agree. Open heaven, if you will. It seems like
I think people are beginning to open more up to the importance of their faith.
Here's what's happening too, and I saw something on television about this, and I've seen it in real life too. Is that the folks that are moving in here from like California and New York and places like that, they're moving to the South, and part of their Southern experience is going to church.
Mm-hmm.
Something they may have not have done before. I'm not saying California don't have churches; they got great churches out there, but they're starting a new life. They moved to the South, which they consider to be a completely new lifestyle, and going to church is part of that. And so. Number
And
one,
we welcome it.
being a welcoming church is. And David, I've had this conversation with you more than once. I have told you more than one time that I'm more interested in you being the best pastor that you can be than you being the best county executive you can be. And God will work that out in the end.
Yeah.
And so
I respect that.
I give you that going forward too.
Yeah.
Just focus
Thank
on your church and on the lives of people, and God will take care of the rest.
In that first year, there's a lot, beginning
Yes.
of government, you're drinking through a fire hose, you're learning. I was going to every conference I could to learn everything I could. I even went to Lipscomb to get this degree to help me. And so, but now there's a rhythm even with county government for me and how I manage my life, and I'm just excited about everything's going on in my life. The Lord's just blessing us, and like I said, grandkids the next step for me, so. No pressure.
Have you got one that's married yet? Or?
Yeah, Peyton, my oldest, married
thought I remembered
Kendall
that.
Franklin, a Loretta boy.
Yeah.
And, made that Loretta connection. That wasn't for political purposes, but
But it can't hurt.
Hopefully it doesn't hurt.
But it can't hurt.
It's a dynasty. They're creating a dynasty.
It certainly can't hurt, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, we have filled up the hour,
have.
guys, and it's going to be time for us to turn loose. David Morgan, our county executive, thanks for being here, man.
Appreciate the
been good.
opportunity.
And Keith, as always, thanks, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow, good Lord
Yes,
willing.
sir.
All right, we'll be back with a quick Mart Hour tomorrow.
Quick Mart Hour.
Yeah, so we'll have some fun. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Hey,
we off? You talking about Billy Hill?
Productivity is surging,
Yeah, dude.
investment is
I had
soaring.